So today I am planning to spread some love to all the, well, a few amazing booktubers that I think you should check out. This tag is the brainchild of the delightful Jolene over at Bookworm Adventure Girl. I absolutely love Jolene's channel. She's a Canadian booktuber. She talks quite a lot about Canadian literature, and if you don't already subscribe to her, you really should, because she's fabulous. Sorry for the camera. Rudy's having a fight with a teddy bear. So there are 13 questions here, and to make sure this video isn't ridiculously long, I have just picked 2 booktubers per question. Also, a lot of these booktubers go across multiple categories, so I have done my best. I have also decided to only put in booktubers that are under 1,000 subscribers, just as a way of cutting down the sheer amount of amazing booktubers that I like to watch and talk to. So with all that preamble out the way, let's just do this. So the first question is, name a booktuber who inspires you. And the first booktuber that came to mind here is actually a duo, and that is Gunpowder, Fiction and Plot, Scott and Nell. Scott and Nell are Australian booktubers and they are hilarious. They talk about some really important topics. I think the very first video I watched from them was about authors who were TERFs, and they just discuss it, and they discuss the pluses and the minuses and bring your attention to things that maybe you didn't know about before. And I love those topical videos that they do. If I can find the link for that video, I will link that one below. But they are just hilarious together. They read a really wide variety of stuff, quite a lot of literary fiction, and yeah, they push the boat out with their editing quite often. And there's like alter ego Scott, who wears like a blonde wig.
I want to know why you've been cast in that blonde wig.
The other booktuber who really inspires me is Larry from Larry Has Opinions. Larry is just hilarious. He's got quite a deadpan, dry sense of humour, which is absolutely my cup of tea. His thumbnails are always like on point. He also does some fantastic editing, and again, quite a lot of literary fiction, but historical fiction. He does read fantasy as well. He reads pretty much everything, let's be honest. So yeah, absolutely love Larry's channel. And the video that he did for 500 subscribers, where he just basically rips the shit out of Bob the Bookerer for like 10 minutes, that was the one. I'll link it below. Question 2, give some love to some small booktube channels. Well, I am a small booktube channel myself, but I've chosen a couple that are a bit smaller than me. The first one is really, really new, and she deserves a lot more subscribers, and that is Lisa from Lisa in Bookland. I recently discovered Lisa. She is an Irish booktuber, and yeah, she reads quite a lot of stuff, a lot of classics, a lot of historical fiction, and she's just a joy to watch. And Lisa only has 41 subscribers at the time of filming, so she really deserves a bit more love. The next booktuber I'd like to mention is The Midnight Reader. Again, quite a wide range of stuff, but just a really easygoing personality style. She has 172 subscribers at the time of filming, so yeah, she is also a great one to go and check out. Question 3, booktubers who live close to you. This was quite difficult because I do have a couple of booktubers who I know live quite close to me, but I'm using them for other questions. So I've just picked 2 other booktubers who are in the UK. That is relatively close, because the UK is quite small. They both live in England, sorry. The first one is a booktuber who should absolutely have more subscribers than she does, and that is Jennifer Loves Books. I love Jennifer's channel so much. She is so insightful. She reads quite a lot of literary fiction and thrillers and sort of Nordic thrillers. Can't think of the word, it's getting late. But yeah, she's just lovely, and she's always like really friendly in the comments and everything, so really please check her out. And the other booktuber who also lives in England, I think, is Ellie from Bibbidi Bobbidi Books. Ellie was one of the first booktubers that I sort of started talking to when I first started up my channel, and she has the most beautiful aesthetic. Honestly, she puts me to absolute shame. All of her videos are beautifully put together. She reads quite a lot of fantasy and thrillers, quite a lot of middle grade as well. I get a lot of good middle grade recommendations from Ellie because I don't read that much, so I just steal ideas from people who do. But yeah, she has a lovely channel, and again, she's just like the most wholesome person. So yeah, highly recommend you check Ellie's channel out. Okay, booktubers from different continents. So both of these are from North America. I live in Europe, if you couldn't tell the pure British Suffolk accent. And the first booktuber I'm going to mention is the legend that is Fraser Simons. Fraser Simons reads about 1 trillion books a day. He does weekly wrap-ups where he's read more books in a week than I read in a month, by far. So if you are looking to really pick out like the best books, Fraser Simons does it for you, because he reads like everything. I get really excited when I've read a book that Fraser hasn't read. The other booktuber that I want to mention before this prompt is Rosie from Rosie Cochat, who literally today, as I'm filming, well, not today because she was late putting her video up, but she's hit 500 subscribers a couple of weeks ago, and she's a delight. She reads really eclectically. I can't really pin anything down, but she is one of the reasons that I am going to try some Terry Pratchett this year, because she does talk about it a lot. She's got me really wanting to read it. So yeah, Rosie is, again, lovely. And confession time, I can't tell the difference between an American accent and a Canadian accent. So she's from North America, but I don't know where. Question 5, booktubers with furry companions, because we all have a furry companion on BookTube, don't we? And the first person that sprung to mind here is Alice from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, and the delightful Harry, her cat. Harry makes an appearance in pretty much every video. He looks cute as a button. If you ever see like him like face on, he's got like the most beautiful eyes. But he's got those eyes that say, "Fuck off, I hate you." And I absolutely love him. He's like a cat with pure attitude. So yeah, Alice is fabulous. She reads a lot of thrillers, classics, literary fiction. Yeah, quite a wide diaspora, really. And I take great pleasure in coaxing her away from her giant TBR to read other stuff on a regular basis. The other booktuber that I want to recommend with furry companions is Rachel from Rachel's Book Nook. Rachel has 2 gorgeous dogs, and I couldn't not bring up a booktuber with dogs. And Rachel, again, is one of these booktubers that should have so many more subscribers. She does really fantastic, insightful, thought out reviews of books. I literally watched one today where she was talking about novellas in translation, and 2 of the 3 that she talks about I'd never heard of before, and she brings them up and she talks about them in this really rounded way, and I highly recommend. I will link that video below for you. Obviously all these channels will be linked. Question 6, booktubers that you have done a buddy read or a group read with. And the first booktuber I have to mention here is someone that I'm currently buddy reading a rather long book with, and that is very literary Carrie. Carrie is an American booktuber. She is lovely. Honestly, she is a delight to talk to. We are reading the epic that is Lonesome Dove at the moment. We're about 650 pages in. got about 300 pages left to go. And it has just been an absolute delight to read with Carrie. She's really, really insightful. On her channel, she does loads of fantastic non-fiction recommendations. Particularly, I like her non-fiction recommendations because she is always talking about books that I've never heard of. And yeah, she's lovely, and I absolutely am having a blast reading with her at the moment. The other booktuber I want to mention for this one is Nikki from Red Dot Reads. Nikki was the very first person I did a buddy read with back in like September time. Which one was it? I think it was Hamlet that we read first. We also read The Binding quite soon after. I think it was that way around. And I love Nikki's channel so much. She's a teacher. She lives over in Singapore, but she literally like comes from the same town that I live in. Small world, right? And yeah, Nikki again has really, really similar taste to me, quite eclectic, but she reads a lot more thrillers than I do because not my jam. But Nikki has made me quite keen to pick up a few. So yes, I'm sure everyone's already subscribed to Nikki because she is just a delight. Question 7, and I love this question. This is to shout out some commenters or subscribers without YouTube channels who support your channel. And for anyone who's watching that maybe watches regularly but doesn't comment, please comment, because I really would love to know that you're there. There is nothing more satisfying as a booktuber who's making content than having people talk to you in the comments, and booktubers talk to other booktubers because of that reason. But honestly, don't lurk. Don't be a lurker. Talk to me. Or if you don't want to talk to me, just give me the little thumbs up. But a couple that I just wanted to shout out. Sorry, Rudy's like wanting to get some attention. Firstly, I can't not mention the amazing Sonia Devaney. Devaney? Sorry, Sonia. Sonia has supported my channel for ages now. She always writes really nice comments, and I'm currently buddy reading Lolita with Sonia. The buddy read's going well. The book, yeah, wait till you see my review on that one. But yes, she is so lovely. We've also been in some group reads together as well, and I can't thank you enough, Sonia, for the support that you've given me over the last few months. It's been an absolute delight getting to know you. A couple of other commenters that come up quite frequently, Beth McCraw, and a new commenter, Charlie Brooks. Yeah, thank you both. I really do appreciate your comments. If I didn't mention you and you are a commenter, it's only because I have an inability to remember anything. Okay, so booktubers who are new to you. So the first one I want to mention is one that I actually found through Jolene's video like this, and that is Lindy Magpie Reads. Lindy is fantastic. I absolutely love Lindy. She, I think, is also a Canadian booktuber that I hadn't come across before, and obviously I've recently started following her, and her videos are fantastic. I watched one today where she was talking about her experience reading books for the readathon where you read books from Korea, and the way she went about it was fantastic. She had some amazing picture book recommendations, she had graphic novel recommendations as well as novel recommendations. She talked about food and like interviews and stuff that you could check out from Korean authors. She went deep on that readathon, and there was so much amazing content in that video. I will link that specific video below. But yeah, I cannot recommend her highly enough. I think she is amazing. The other booktuber who's relatively new to me is Ange from Anjis Book Chatter. So Ange is part of a sort of a group chat that I'm a part of that sort of evolved from other group reads. And I wasn't super familiar with Ange before, and she's in that group, and so obviously I started watching some of her content, and she is hilarious. She is from Northern England, so she's got like the full-on Northern English accent, which I'm not going to attempt to demo because my accents are shocking. but she's just one of those down to earth, like salt of the earth people that, yeah, she's just so fun to watch. You watch her and you just feel like you're like chatting with a friend. She's fantastic. Great booktuber. Okay, question 9. Booktubers who read differently to me. So here, the first one that springs to mind is Gem from Bookish Gems. Again, this was one of the very first booktubers that I met when I started, and she is so lovely, honestly. I know I've said this about everyone, and obviously if I thought people were an arsehole, I wouldn't be talking about them. But she has this conversational style and this sort of self-mockery in her videos that makes me laugh every single time. And Jem reads a lot of manga and graphic novels, which I don't really read any of. And she's got me quite interested to try some of those, particularly Junjito, which she talks about quite a lot. And yeah, she's just a joy, and she does like this TBR game every month called TBR Artsy. Man, it screws her every single month, so I recommend checking that out. The other booktuber who reads quite differently to me that I'd like to talk about is Berna from Berna's Bookish Adventures. I say she reads quite differently to me, mainly because she reads quite a lot of mystery and thrillers, which I don't read. But we do have quite a lot of crossover as well, because I think more and more nowadays people are quite eclectic in the books that they read. No one's really niched in. I think back in the day there were a lot of people who like only read like sci-fi fantasy or only read literary fiction. But I think now you get people that read more across the whole diaspora, and Berna is one of those. So I quite often have books that are on my TBR or that I've rated highly, and she's rated highly. But yeah, all the mystery thriller bits, which make up a fair chunk of her reading, are not my jam. But she is lovely. She's a Turkish booktuber. How many times have I said lovely in this video? I've really enjoyed watching her content, and I think I found Berna through a reading group of some description as well. But honestly, I commit to so many things these days, I can't really remember where our paths crossed, but they did, and I'm very glad that they did. Okay, so the next question is booktubers with a similar taste to you, and I could reel off quite a few, but one that is relatively new to me as well, but I've been absolutely loving her videos, is Kristin from Enter the Book. So Kristin reads pretty much everything that I would read. What I really like about Kristin is she reads quite a lot of fantasy in her mix as well, which I love to read. I'll be honest, I haven't read as much as I would like to have since starting BookTube. I don't know why that is. But I love to see her talk about what fantasy she's reading, and she reads a lot of historical fiction, literary fiction as well. So she is a delight to watch. Highly recommend that you check her out. The other person, really for very much the same reasons as far as genres go, is Harriet from Harriet's Book Corner. Harriet has a lovely channel. She's really just likeable. Just she just talks to the camera and you just instantly feel at ease watching her. And she recently found her kitten that she'd lost for like ages, and she found it and like was reunited with it. It was really cute. Going off on a bit of a tangent, but yeah, she is lovely, and she also has a great Instagram page as well. Okay, booktubers with great original tags. So the two booktubers here that I'd like to talk about are Becky from Teacup the Storyteller, who last year put out the Three Musketeers book tag, which I did in December. I'll link that video below. And she made up some questions based around her favourite book, Three Musketeers. Spoiler warning, if you watch Becky's channel, she struggles to get through a video without saying the Three Musketeers. I saw her do a tag the other day where I think she answered that book to about 5 of the questions.
Three Musketeers, and say Three Musketeers. Three Musketeers.
So yeah, I absolutely love Becky. She has great production skills when it comes to her videos. They always feel really high quality and really cozy and inviting. And yeah, Becky is from Slovakia, but she's living in Scotland at the moment. So yeah, I love Becky. She's fab, and I've done a buddy read with Becky as well, and yeah, that's so much fun. The other person who has done a very popular tag is Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot, and she did the 1001 Books tag, which went everywhere. And that was based off of her reading the 1001 Books You Must Read Before You Die list. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you're just going to have to go and check out Sandy's video, because she explains it much better than I do. And Sandy, again, reads very broadly, and she's just super inviting. Another one of these people who just make you feel at home when you're watching their videos. And yeah, love her to pieces. And I have a buddy read coming up for her next month, our first one, so very excited for that. Okay, question number 12. BookTube projects that you join or follow. All of them. There's one booktuber I'd like to mention in particular for this. I'm not going to mention two, I'll just mention the one, and that is Emily from Novell Novels, because she started this year the Analong, where we are reading one of the Anne of Green Gables books every month. So we're on the third book now, and she has cultivated this amazing reading group. There's such lovely people in that. We have such great discussions about the book as it goes through, but it's super laid back, easygoing, and yeah, it's been an absolute joy to read these books with that group, and there are quite a few more to go. I still haven't read the March one yet. And Emily has hosted 2 readathons this year already. She's also doing the Wolf Hall along, which I am participating in and behind on. And yeah, she just really pushes the boat out when it comes to creating things for people to get involved in, and she's super inclusive. Anybody can be a part of it, and she just makes you feel like you're her friend. And well, hopefully I am her friend now, but you know what I mean. And the final question, booktubers who always put me in a good mood, and I have 2 here to mention. The first is Jack from Spread Book Joy. Jack, oh, I love her stuff so much. Jack talks about so many different things. She reads a lot of fantasy and literary fiction and classics, but she also does a lot of stuff on children's books. She's a primary school teacher, and she has some really good insights. And as a mother of 2 primary school age children, I find her stuff on the kids' books really, really useful. It's helped me buy many presents for nieces and nephews also. And yeah, she's just one of the most easygoing people. And yeah, if I need cheering up, I watch a Jack video. And the other booktuber that I'm going to mention here is Danny from Danny's Book World. Danny is a Scottish booktuber, and I've known Danny pretty much since the start of my channel as well. And she has a really laid back, humble approach to her videos. She doesn't overthink it. She just sits down and chats with you. And yeah, she's just fab. She reads fantasy, YA fantasy and historical fiction, and a little bit of everything really, but those 2 are probably what I associate most with her. But her accent just, it always cheers me up listening to Danny talk. So yeah, those are my 2 for always put a smile on my face. And then lastly, I'm supposed to tag some people, but in the name of saving time, because I'm hoping I'm going to edit a chunk of this out because my clock says 30 minutes. But anyone who I have mentioned in this video, consider yourself tagged. Recommend some booktubers to the booktube community. Let's share some love. And yeah, thanks very much for being here, and I will see you all again very, very soon.